Welcome back to the Total Focus Podcast, episode number 18. I'm your host, Paul. Our guest this week is Phaedra Pistone. She is the current MRS North Carolina 2019 America. She's a former two-time title holder. She owns a dress company, and she also designs dresses. And she's also a two-time breast cancer survivor and currently going through treatment. This is a story that you need to listen to, all about getting over adversities and still winning. So stay tuned. And welcome to the show.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here with you today.
Well, I'm really excited for you to come on the show and let our listeners learn a little bit more about North Carolina and your dress shop and the whole thing about Miss America and again, more about North Carolina.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'm excited to share all that as well.
So I guess what we had talked about earlier is that kind of your journey started just after you met your current husband, and
Yeah,
why don't we start there?
yeah,
Um,
absolutely. So I got married almost 4 years ago. August 28th is our fourth anniversary. We've been together for
Congratulations.
thank you. We've been together for about 10 years. And it was kind of crazy because I've owned a bridal shop for over 10 years. And it's like, those who do not wed buy bridal shops. But then one day, this amazing man comes into my life, and I'm so excited to have him and to call him my husband of 4 years in August. But I have always loved pageantry. I did some pageants when I was younger. And then I just told myself, like, as I, got married, it's like, mainly, married women have children, their mother, they have businesses and things like that. I was like, I want to do pageants again. I love pageantry. And it's pretty amazing to have something for the married ladies and not just the Miss girls. So I embarked on this journey to Mrs. North Carolina a couple years ago. So right after I actually got married in August, the pageant was I think it was in November that year, the end of October, beginning of November. And that was my first married pageant.
and
I
what was
got,
that experience like? Was it
it was, it was kind of challenging, to be honest with you in the beginning, because
even
I've
having that
not,
experience as a Ms?
yeah, because I hadn't done a pageant since at that point for probably, I don't know, 10 plus years or so. So it's like a whole different set of, things that you need to think about as a married woman. And it's just different than a Miss pageant. So it was a little challenging, but it was fun. I think I put a lot on my plate after just being married, less than 6 months and then jumping into this pageant. My husband's kind of like, whoa, what's going on here? But it
He
was
didn't know
fun. It
that
was
he married a pageant patty, did he?
well, he kind of did,
Oh,
but
okay,
I guess
okay.
he didn't know how
Well,
serious that I could be about it.
Well, he knew that you owned a dress shop, so that should have been like
Exactly.
hint one that you're a girly girl. So that's like,
Exactly. Like,
so,
hello.
hello, I like to dress up and look beautiful. You know,
Exactly. Like, who doesn't? So it was fun. I got second runner up, but definitely learned a lot about myself and things that I need to personally work on if I continue down this route of doing more pageants. So, I just kind of was like, okay, let's learn from it. And then I went back again the next year. That year, I got first runner up, which was great because, I improved where I was the year before. And then after that, that's when I first got diagnosed with breast cancer. And so it kind of like put everything on the back burner. So I was diagnosed in November of 2016. And it was just a challenging time. It was something that was not anything we would even ever expect in my lifetime because no one in my family has history of breast cancer. But, it was a challenge that God put in our place and we needed to deal with it.
is
So
that something that were you passionate about, like volunteering for, or did you have any experience with that disease at all?
I I did not. My platform at the time was working with homelessness because we have so many here in North Carolina, and I teamed up with a company called Hope House and really worked with them. That was what I was passionate about because I could see it day in and day out throughout my community, and never once did I ever think about like breast cancer, or mammograms, or anything like that. But
Well, you know
here,
that the thing about breast cancer is that it you don't have. I mean, you can be hit with that affliction, and not have it as something that's running in the family. So
That's so
it
true.
totally changes your life outlook, because after you beat it, then you still have to make sure you do checkups and everything. So it's definitely it's a your life is now changed
E-
permanently.
ex- Exactly. It definitely, and sometimes the way I like to say it is, you can choose things in life that you want to do, but unfortunately, that breast cancer and cancer is one thing that you don't choose to have or to do, and it does change your whole life, your whole outlook on life. You have to restructure and rebalance, and it really puts things in perspective to understand how important and precious life is, and to use those moments to the best of your ability.
So I assume that your platform is now about breast cancer
Yes.
awareness. Okay.
Yes, exactly. A mammogram has saved my life 2 times now, and I advocate for promoting mammograms, early detection with mammograms, because it honestly can save your life, and it gives you those choices to be able to know in the early stages of it, like, what can we do to stop this from going into our bodies and making it any worse than it already is? So, thankfully, I found mine both times with early detection with mammograms, and as Mrs. North Carolina, that's what I go and promote because it's near and dear to my heart.
So as being a guy, I don't have anything to any knowledge, but would you recommend, because I've always heard that it's a painful procedure to actually get the test of being a mammogram. Um, would you recommend, if the person feels that they should get it, they should do it as young as possible, even.
I do agree with that. And I think it's important to be your own self advocate too. I like to promote doing your self exams because you know your body better than anybody knows your body. You know if there's a change. And it is uncomfortable, but it's an uncomfortable 5 to 10 minutes max. And that is something that can save your life. So why not be uncomfortable for 10 minutes max when you know that it can save your life? And the pain that you will endure later because of not taking that step is way greater than 10 minutes.
Okay. Well, then, ladies, everyone that's listening to the show, then please take Miss North Carolina's highly recommendation, no matter how young you are. And if you think that you need to have a checkup, you should go get a checkup.
Yes, ladies, please have your mammogram. And great point. Like, if you feel something, talk to your primary care physician. Tell them, like, hey, something's not right here. I'm feeling something that's not normal. And they'll, guide you in the next steps that need to happen if it's a mammogram or, just keeping a check or keeping an eye on it. It's so simple and it can save your life.
So, when your actual first occurrence of breast cancer, were you just doing a random? Were you doing your normal checkup, that your hand checkup, that you were that
Yes.
or the doc? Okay.
So a couple years prior to that, I felt something. I do have implants in, and I felt something weird. We went to the doctor. They checked it out. It was fine. A couple years later is when I, was sitting at the dinner table with my husband. I'm like, oh, something doesn't feel right. I was like, can you just check it? Like, put my mind at ease. And he's like, oh, it's probably nothing, but let's get it checked out. Let's check that off the list that it's nothing, and move on. And going into it, I didn't ever think it would be anything, but I want to do my self checks. I want to make sure I'm okay, and I regularly go to the doctor if needed. And you know I went in, did the mammogram. Right after that, they took me to do an ultrasound, and they're like, okay, well, we'll have the results back for you in like a week or so. And so they did find something. They wanted me to come back and do a diagnostic mammogram, to do a biopsy to get in there to really know if it is something. And that took another week. And then, finally towards the end of November of that year, we went back for the results. We were sat in a room. It was me, my husband, and two doctors, and they basically had this big binder in front of me, like, okay, sorry to tell you this, but you have breast cancer. And my whole life just completely changed from that moment. It's still kind of hard to talk about it today, but I do feel like God gives a plan and a purpose, and mine is to be out there to hopefully show other women don't let cancer take you, because you're bigger than that, and you have so much to give to the world, whether it's promoting about breast cancer or living for your family. Like, you can't let that stop you, because it does. And the first time I kind of did, because it was such a scare of like not knowing and feeling alone. But I'm so happy to be here today and to be able to share this with everybody else.
Well, clearly, God had a role in making sure that you survived, and clearly,
Yes.
that early protection, whatever hint that He gave you, or that inclination that most women have, you made sure that you listened to yourself. So
That's right.
clearly, there was some good things going that way. So that's the only way I can think of it. So,
Yes. Well said.
you, so you took you basically took what, 2 years off at that point, and you're owning your dress shop. You got some good
Yeah.
people running your shop, but you're
Yes.
focusing on your health.
Yeah, so I didn't. What I did is basically turn my pain into a purpose. So once I was diagnosed in November, I had surgery January of 2017. And I told myself I was in such a funk. I was very depressed. I was confused. I didn't know what this meant in life. Where was I going to go? And I knew that in my heart, I love pageants so much that I found another system. It's the United States system. I had like 3 or 4 months to prepare. And I told my husband, I was like, can I please go and do this? Like, I need something to work towards, something to get me motivated. And he was like, sure, like, go do it if that's going to make you happy. He's like, no, it's going to be stressful. I'm like, it's fine. I've got this. So I went and competed at the North Carolina level for United States, and I won that. And it was
Congratulations.
thank you. It was awesome. Went to nationals that summer in July, and I placed in the top 10. So I was so proud of that.
And where did they do nationals that year?
That was in Orlando in Florida.
That would be a fun place to have nationals.
Yeah, it was super hot, but it was a lot of fun.
I always love the United States system. If our listeners are familiar with the Statue of Liberty, their crown is
Yeah,
really beautiful because it has this beautiful Statue of Liberty crown. So
agree.
it's so classy and so beautiful.
Yes,
So to have that beautiful crown on is always, there are certain crowns that are iconic, like
yes,
the star for USA, and the four um, the 4 points for Miss America. So
yes,
and the United States one's very unique too. So I hope they never
yeah.
get rid of that.
Me too. Who doesn't feel good wearing a crown around, right?
Exactly. So how did that year go? So you were saying, so you placed in did you place at nationals?
I got in the top 10. That was as far as I
Congratulations.
got. Thank you. But I was so, just excited on cloud nine. I, felt proud for myself and for my state. And it was great.
Uh,
I continued to work my title that whole year. And then the
But is that
next
in the
year,
middle? Is that I'm sorry? Is that in the
that's
middle
okay.
of your treatments as well?
No, so I did my all my treatment in January, so I had a little bit of time to heal. I did a lumpectomy, so it's basically going in, taking the cancer out, and then you need about 4 to 6 weeks to heal, and then you're usually good. You're back on your way.
Wow. Okay.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
so do you do for that procedure? Do you just do quarterly checkups to make sure that they're or yearly check-ins? Like
Yes.
how's that?
So what I chose to do, they recommend chemo and radiation. I personally, for myself, chose not to do either. And my what we did for my treatment is every 6 months I would go back to do a mammogram and then alter with an MRI, so they could check, if there was anything coming back, if there's anything, they see on this imaging. And then we also did some blood work too to see the elevation of my white and red blood cells. So, we had a plan. I changed a lot of things that I was doing with my diet, tried to be a little more organic, tried to not be so stressed out, but, really putting everything in a balanced state as much as possible. So, it wasn't bad. It was definitely a life change, which was good for me because I needed it.
Well, I mean, you're still here, so clearly you picked the
That's
path that
right.
worked for you.
That's
So,
right.
I mean, I always tell people you should pick the path that's right for you, and the only person that can make that determination is yourself and not anyone
That's
else.
right.
So,
That is so true. So true.
so you
So
did
it kind of,
top 10.
sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just putting you back on track. So top 10 at nationals.
Yes.
Um, and how was that experience? Um was that
It was
like rewarding or like a stress release after going through all this? Um,
It was it was so amazing. That's the first time I'd ever been at a national, like, on stage pageant like that. It was just like, wow, like, I did it, I'm here. And I mean, it brought tears to my eyes when I'm walking across the stage and our costume and our my state flag is behind me with my name. I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. So it was just uplifting, encouraging, and it really empowered me to continue on from there. Like, it gave me that hope of like, wow, if you can do cancer, you can do a pageant, you can continue on to be something more. So it really gave me a lot of hope and inspiration.
yeah, exactly. I mean, you already beat cancer, so like
That's
competing
right.
competing at nationals with ladies that could potentially be caddy or your best friend is nothing.
Yes,
So
exactly. Exactly.
so um why did you not go back to United States? Because I have a lot of colleagues that love America, but I don't have a lot of colleagues that do United States. So um, was it just not as appealing? Because a lot of my close girlfriends always say that America is so appealing. Like it's the pageant that everybody wants to
Yes.
actually compete in. So.
And I feel the same way. Not that United States is a bad system. I just think America, in my opinion, is the longest running married pageant. And it just holds a little higher standard to me that's, where I want to be. If I want to do another pageant, that is just a goal for me. It just, the standards of that and how classy and the opportunities that I feel like America brings to us married women, it's worth working for, even if you have to do it 3 times.
Well, yeah. So after winning United States, you competed in America, and
Yes.
how'd that experience go?
So I did America the 2 times, and then I went and did the United States, and that was I gave my title up in March of that year. So in November of the same year, I went back and did America for the third time. I kind of told myself, like, hey, where I started with this breast cancer was right after the first time or the second time that I did that pageant. So it was kind of like redeeming myself, like, hey, I've beat this, I'm back. Let's see if we can do something better than before. And we did. We won. So I'm, excited to finally be Mrs. North Carolina, going to Mrs. America this summer, and to really
Congratulations.
have, thank you, and to really have such a powerful message and platform to be able to share about breast cancer. It's been such a honoring, humbling experience and opportunity for myself.
Well, this year is really unique too because this is the first class that you actually get a sister queen
Yes.
to at all other years there you would always be by yourself. So now that the
Yes.
system has a sister queen, you have someone to mentor, which is always
That's
nice
right.
too. Yeah. I
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, it's really fun because I'm like, I have, like you said, someone to mentor. I have someone, that we're pulling for each other and we're helping each other and pushing each other along the way. So it's really special to be able to have that. I've never been a part another system that's so connected with their younger sisters. So I'm so excited to be able to have the opportunity and to be the first group of girls, ladies that has that.
Well, I'm very close with the Maryland delegation, and I said to the Ms. candidate, I said it's very smart of them to do that because
Yes.
they can basically can if they were smart at nationals, they just should have like a singles party and then have a group of guys invited, like the top bachelors, and like
Yeah.
and then try to get them all married, because
There
that
you go.
guarantees the new flock of people to compete the following year.
There you go. I think you might have a show with that one. That
I'm
would be a good
serious.
reality show.
I
I
mean,
love
hey,
it.
the dating shows are very successful right now. So
That's right.
I just wanted to take 1 second from this great interview and talk about our sponsor of the week, Mid Atlantic Video and Photography Productions. No matter if you're planning a wedding, a special event, or you just need an amazing headshot, they are the team to get the job done. You can reach out to them at 443 422 3830. Again, that's 443 422 3830. Or you can go right to their website at mavpp.com. Now let's get right back to the show and listen to this great interview. So, what do you think about nationals? Have you heard anything about it? I mean, I'm sure you've heard the cool gifts you get in the room, because everyone, even my former Mrs. Maryland's, have always gabbed about how the gifts are just like the most incredible gifts. So,
I'm excited. I've watched a lot of the videos that they've posted, which has been so helpful. They'll post like day one, day two from last year, and they're really treated like royalty. Like these ladies are true queens when you come to the Mrs. America pageant. The Marmels, the owners of the I mean, they are amazing and they are doing so much for us to make sure we have a great experience and giving us these nice little gifts along the way. Like it looked like at each dinner or each event, there was something these girls were being given. And I'm like, I can't wait. I'm like, I'm ready for my turn.
well, I've heard through my colleagues that there's like a schedule event, like, I mean, in every pageant, but like
Hmm.
they like throw a party for you every night.
Yes.
So like they the way that my last Mrs. of Maryland mixed drive is that you definitely need to pick a dress to dress every night.
Yes.
So if you're gonna classify yourself as a girly girl, I guess that would be a fun 7 days, because you get to dress up all 7 days.
Yes. Yes. Every girl's dream to dress up, have someone do your hair and makeup, and wear a beautiful gown and just kind of walk around on cloud nine being like a princess and a queen. Like, who doesn't want that?
I know exactly. And then on top of it, you have a little you have a sister queen that you can
Yes.
play with her hair and like
Uh
help
huh.
her. So like you have someone to like chat with and like and
That's right.
strategize with, which is like I was saying earlier, that previous delegations never had that opportunity. So now you actually have someone for a fact is on your side, because she's not
That's
competing.
right.
She's not competing with you. She came from the same state, so she's definitely going to be there to
Yes,
help you, which
exactly.
is really really important, right?
Yeah, it is. It's nice to, bounce ideas off of each other and, see what she's experiencing and how we can really work together to promote each other and just support one another. Not that we don't want to do it with all the other girls, but we have a special bond because we're the Carolina girls and, we want to make sure that we're top of the line, top of our game and, really getting out there and pushing each other to do that. So it's really cool.
Well, yeah, and on top of that, North Carolina has a very strong past history. So,
Thank
I'm sure you
you.
have a lot of pressure just from that
Yes.
standpoint too. So, like, you don't want to let down past North Carolina
No,
ladies down either.
that's
So,
right.
because I'm sure they'll give you a conversation if you let them down. So,
Probably so.
probably was that right. So,
Yes.
so is there any like big secret? Do you have the dress yet? Because um, we're very closely coming to nationals. Nationals is in August or is it in July?
Yes. They're in August. It's August 17th through the 24th. I leave on the 16th of August. I think when I leave, it's 31 days, I believe, until we arrive for the 17th, which is the day we have to be there. Yeah, so I'm excited. The initial dress that I bought, it didn't fit after everything I have going on with the new surgery and the breast cancer coming back. So I had to adjust that a little
Oh
bit.
well, please tell us. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
so
So
yeah,
right
like
in the
so it came back. I'm so sorry.
yeah, no, thank you. So, you know, excited, preparing, for nationals and stuff in April. Again, I was going back for my checks and I felt something. So we kind of went through the same process as before. And this time we knew that we had to be a little more aggressive because obviously something didn't work right. It came back in the same breast. So I knew that it was going to be a lot different and a lot harder. So, we talked to the doctors about it. I talked to my family about it. We prayed about it. We cried about it. And we decided to do a bilateral mastectomy. I just did that in May. So, while everybody else is preparing and exercising and going straight for nationals, I'm set back a little bit, but that's okay because it has given me so much motivation to, be determined to really get out there and share this message because I'm not sure of any other contestants that actually went through a bilateral mastectomy 3 months before going to a national pageant, and then also having something called a tissue expander in. So I won't have like my real self put together, but that's okay because it's not so much what's on the outside, it's what's on the inside and what I can bring. So hopefully that will all be looked past. But I'm, just I wasn't prepared for that, but it's okay. It's just a little hurdle, an obstacle that we're overcoming. And I finally started working out again yesterday. So I'm very proud of myself that I'm getting back in there and just pushing forward.
Well, I mean, you don't sound like you're running like on E. So it's you sound like you're very motivated and sounds like
I
you
am.
have energy.
Yes.
So,
I,
I it's a setback because you didn't get the opportunity to have that little bit. But maybe you didn't need it.
that's right.
Maybe you needed just a little. Everybody needs a vacation.
Yeah.
I I'm not saying it was a vacation, but
All
like
right.
maybe maybe it was just like you just needed you didn't need to go
A
to the
little
gym. You
break.
didn't need to go to the gym. God wanted
That's
to
right.
give He wanted you to take a little time for yourself and to make sure that you were going to survive and be alive.
That's right.
So I mean
And
I don't know what
that's
other way to say it. Like because cancer is one of those things is like that like I was saying earlier, like you have to deal with it when
hmm
you know of it because it's not like, oh, I'm just gonna worry about it in 6 months,
right. No.
you know. And it's not, and so the second time it came, it's not spreading either. So it's at least it's staying local too, because that's the
Right.
concern usually when the second occurrence have if it's spreading. So
Correct.
but
And
no.
that was the thing, like what you were just saying earlier. It's like, I wanted to potentially put that off for after the pageant, but in my mind that just didn't make sense. It's about me and my body being healthy and being here. And so I chose to go ahead and have that surgery before I'll be complete after the pageant with I have one more surgery to go through, but that's okay. I'm here, I'm alive, I do have energy. I have to balance myself out and not do too much during the day, so I do have as much energy as possible. But it's all work in progress, and we all have to adjust things in our life to be here, be healthy, to be alive, and I'm okay with that. I'm definitely at peace with it, and I'm happy to be able to share this message of hopefully hope and inspiration again because to me that's what it is because a lot of people I'm just like yourself is like you sound great, you look great, you're doing great, and I am, and it's not just because of me but it's my family, my friends, people like yourself promoting me and giving me that hope and encouraging me to like continue on. So I thank you to you guys because that honestly is what fuels my fire.
Well, clearly the pageant is a good motivator
Yes.
too.
Big time.
You know, friends and family can only, um, good words of pat on the back can only go so far, but
That's right.
personal motivation. Clearly, the pageant is a really good motivator for you. So,
Yes. Yes. It definitely is the light that keeps shining for me because I know that my message is bigger than cancer and I'm not going to let cancer take that away from me. Yeah. I didn't choose to have that, it chose me, but that's okay because I can turn that negative into a positive, turn that pain into a purpose to advocate for breast cancer awareness.
Well, I always say to all of my friends, interview is everything, and if you can just explain that to the judges, there's
Yeah.
no way they can't deny you at least top
Right?
15 just for the simple fact that you're literally going to a nationals while you're doing treatment and you're going, you're literally, um, you know, you're not at, you sound, and I'm sure that you feeling, but you're still not at full strength. So, that's, to me, if I was a judge, I would be like, whoa, that's totally impressive. Like, that's
Oh, thank
totally,
you.
yeah, like, that's past the dress, that's past looks. Like, I would automatically want to see you have an opportunity to be in the top 15 just so you could tell your story. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
thank
So I
you.
hope the judges really recognizes how important that is. So,
Me too. Me too. So can you go be a judge?
hey, I would love to be judge. Hopefully with your help, this radio show will be more successful. So
Yes, I am
I
happy
appreciate
to
your
help.
support. Yeah, and coming
Absolutely.
on the show. I mean, so
Thank you for
um,
having me.
no. Um, so is there anything else at nationals you're really excited about? I mean, we kind of even mentioned it, but it's in Vegas, right?
Yeah, it's in Vegas. We're staying at the Westgate Hotel or the Westgate Resort. It's right off the strip, and it's the Seagulls that own that. They're also part of the pageant. They're Victoria's Voice. I'm not sure if you've heard of that, but that's the national platform for Mrs. America, and they open their arms and welcome all of us ladies to their resort for a week of fun, rehearsals, getting to know other contestants from across our state, and it's just exciting. I'm so excited to be there. It's for me. It's knowing that I've worked so hard to be here and not let those obstacles get in my way. That's going to make me shine and be so proud to represent my state once I walk across that stage.
I I when you were saying that it is the best married pageant, I can't
Yes,
disagree with you because one, it's in Vegas for
yes,
nationals.
yes,
Two, it's like one of the last stages that Elvis Presley performed on.
yes,
So like
exactly.
people don't like of my generation don't get the idea of understanding how big that is, but
Huge.
it's a huge thing. Like
And and do you
huge.
know that we get to have a party in Elvis's suite? So one night
No,
we
I
get to
didn't
have
know.
a
I don't know
party.
that.
Yes.
That's awesome. See?
Yes. So we all I think I'm gonna wear this black and gold dress. It's like sequins. I'm like, I think Elvis would approve. But yeah,
Mhm.
one night we get to have a party in Elvis's suite. So I'm so excited about that. I just want to see it. Like I've been to Nashville to see his stuff, and I can't imagine what this awesome suite in Las Vegas is gonna look like. I'm excited.
The way I guess the way I can always describe Elvis is it's one step over the top. Like
Yes,
like
there you go.
like a large chair, but like super large chair. Like everything is
Yes.
like, and he wasn't a super. I mean, his old age, he was big, but he wasn't like jumbo. But it was just like it
Right.
was the point of being like I want the biggest of everything.
Yes.
So
Agree.
and
Yeah.
to be able to perform on a stage like that, that's gotta be like, you know, one of one of the superstars in the entire world performed on that stage, and because
Yeah.
those stages don't exist anymore because they keep on
That's
tearing those
right.
hotels down. That's
That's
gotta be
right.
fun. Like it's gotta
Yes.
be is that a bucket list item?
I would say so for sure. Yeah, definitely taking this whole journey to Mrs. America has been on my bucket list to do. And I'm just so thankful for the opportunity and to be here. I have amazing directors that, are supporting us 110% and like pushing us and helping us get here. So yeah, it's definitely on a bucket list and
And are you
excited.
born and raised in North Carolina too?
I was born in San Antonio, Texas.
Okay.
My father was in the army, so we lived there for about 4 years, but raised in North Carolina. So,
Okay, so
st-
there
Carolina
it can't
bred,
wait,
not
wait, wait, but
born.
I can't knock you there because one, your family is keeping our freedom. So, but
Yes,
if you basically are there since a young child. That's basically North Carolina. You just weren't born
That's
there.
right.
So
That's
so
exactly right.
just to give you another pat on the back, you win the state, you win two national state titles in the state that you work in, you own a business in. That
Yes.
that's a big thing, right? That's a big like
Yes.
kudos thing, like
Yes, thank you. I think so. I mean, it's a huge accomplishment for me, something that I've always wanted to do, and I did it. So I'm excited. I feel like I've already won Mrs. America because of the opportunities I've been given and the things I've been able to do so far.
I mean, the worst thing comes that you go back to the community that you love and you've been supporting your entire life, and you get to spend the
Yes,
entire year being Mrs. North Carolina.
that's right.
So I mean that's the worst, you know.
Right, and
Yeah,
that's
and
definitely not bad at all.
no, and the best part is that you could come back and be MRS America, so and then
Yes,
have to go to Worlds. So
yes, that would be
we're definitely
a blessing.
yeah, I would love to be like talking to Miss MRS America. That would be totally
Yes,
awesome. So
I would love that as well. So
yeah,
you
so
keep a spot for me after August.
yeah, please. Hey, if you do win, we want you to come on and then talk
Yes,
about
would love
your thought
to.
ideas and for Worlds, because
Yes.
I've heard that the national pageant is nothing compared to Worlds. Like, first of all,
Right?
it's another country, and then all the gifts they give you at Worlds is even.
Yes. I would love to know what that is like.
I heard the rumors.
Yeah.
So, I just wanted to take one extra second and talk about our sponsor of the week, Mid Atlantic Video and Photography Production. No matter if you're planning a wedding and you need a wedding videographer, you're doing a music video, or you're doing a commercial, they are the team to get the job done. You can reach out to them at 443-422-3830. Again, that's 443-422-3830. Or you can go right to their website at mavpp.com. Now let's get right back to this great interview. Is there anything else that you're excited about nationals that you want to talk about, or otherwise I will give you the floor and let you this is give you an opportunity to plug anything or um
Not that I can think of. I think I'm just excited, ready almost to be there, just trying to get, a couple alterations done here and there, get my mind set, my body set. I'm just excited for this opportunity and so grateful.
okay. Well, do you have anything upcoming that we could help you with that you want to promote, or do you have anything you'd want to plug? Of course, your platform is breast cancer awareness, so
Right.
everyone should definitely go and donate money to the breast cancer awareness. And
Yes.
breast cancer awareness month is September,
October.
October.
Yes.
So
Um, I mean, I could plug a couple
yes, please go ahead.
organizations that I work with. One that's near and dear to my heart is called Shirley's Angels, and it's a nonprofit organization here in North Carolina. And what they do is they provide care packages to breast cancer survivors, warriors like myself, along your journey. So every month they kind of send you a little hope and inspiration. There's a note usually in there, and there's some like goodies, products, things to pamper yourself. But just to know that somebody's with you along this journey to help you not feel alone and to have extra support from someone you don't even know. I like to call it an angel. I love them. I actually have a fundraiser tonight with them to raise funds that, we can continue to provide these care packages. And we've also here recently been able to provide a couple free mammograms to ladies in need. Insurance is a tricky thing with women that are under 40, or if they're over 40 and qualifying for those free mammograms or low cost. And that is something near and dear to me because it can save their life. It honestly has saved mine 2 times. And that is just huge. And some people don't have that opportunity. So I really get out there and work with any breast cancer organization that I can. I'm also part of the American Cancer Society here in Charlotte. And we've got an event coming up in October because October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So I'll be super busy during that month doing a bunch of different things from National American or the American Cancer Society. I also have a golf tournament with Shirley's Angels. and a couple other like fashion shows that I'm gonna be a part of. But it's really, giving back if you can to the organizations that you love. Mine is definitely with breast cancer, anything related to that. Susan G. Komen also is another good one. Avon. So if you find it in your heart to give back to an organization, Shirley's Angels is on the top of my list for that because they do so much for so many people within our community, and we are working to be able to go beyond North Carolina and South Carolina to provide these care packages for other ladies.
Well, it just sounds like you're brief talking about them. You're really passionate about them, and
Yes.
if you're passionate about them, I'm sure they're doing a really good thing in the community and really helping women, especially if they're really helping to provide low cost or free mammograms. I mean,
Yeah.
I wish we would live
It's
in a
huge.
country where they would appreciate women's health more than it
Yes.
currently is, because
Agree.
without any woman there wouldn't be any men or women
That's
or
right. Well
girls. So
said.
maybe we should take care of our women just a little bit more. But I'm just
Yes.
putting it out
Thank you.
there, and hopefully something will occur with that. So
Yes. Thank you for
no,
doing that. I
no.
appreciate that. That's awesome.
I mean, it's only a true statement, you know.
It is.
Men can't make other men, so
True that.
you know. So hopefully we'll get that situated in the near coming futures. So
Yes.
well, we really appreciate you coming on the show, and I really appreciate your time today, and we are
Thank you.
absolutely rooting for you. So we hope you do really well at nationals, and I please I'm this is open. If you have any big things coming up in the future that you'd like to promote, you can always come on for a couple minutes, and
Okay.
especially if you definitely if you win nationals, I would love for you to come on as Miss Mrs. America, MRS
I
America. So please, I hope you think of us. So
Absolutely. I would be honored to do that. And I've enjoyed speaking with you today, and I appreciate you taking the time to let me share my message and to hopefully reach out to other ladies, other people, men, ladies, what it might be. Um, and ladies, go get your mammogram. If you're, too young, do your self checks. Have your mom, make sure your mom's getting her mammogram. I actually have something on my social media thing. It's called Phaedra's Pink Pledge, and it's basically talking about having your mammograms, doing your self checks, keeping a healthy weight. And it's just simple. It's just something to remind you every year, like, hey, I've got to go get my mammogram, or I need to stay in check with my body. So it's a pretty cool little thing I just started.
well, I think that's really helpful. I mean, and on top of it, cancer afflicts not just women but men too. So
Yep.
I mean, um, women get. Um, I guess statistically, you guys have more indications of it, but like
Yes.
it's very important for guys to
Exactly.
keep apprised of as well and make sure that we're okay too. So,
That's exactly
um,
right.
but we appreciate you very much, and we're praying that your second treatment goes well,
Thank
and
you.
we hope everything goes well at nationals.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Phaedra, thank you so much for coming on the show and telling us all about your cancer surviving treatment, and really telling us that life doesn't end at cancer and it only begins, and really telling us, that you can still survive and win. Um, as you told us, your two biggest victories was while you were still dealing with cancer, and we only hope that you go on to nationals and win. So we're praying for you and hope everything goes well. Don't forget, this show, the Total Focus Podcast, drops every Thursday afternoon. So please stay tuned. Please subscribe both on YouTube and on iTunes. And on YouTube, please comment, give us a thumbs up or thumbs down. Tell us what we're doing right or wrong. And please stay tuned.